All right, guys, welcome to a reaction video. We've been doing a lot of them. People love them. I get comments on Instagram all the time. Paul, do more reaction videos. We love them, et cetera, et cetera. I've not seen this video yet. I don't like watching videos, ironically. I have a YouTube channel. I prefer to read the article because I can skim it or I can go back easy. But Tim sent me this video. It's with Jeremy Grantham, who I respect a lot. He's a very intelligent man. He's been around for a while. So I'm fast forwarding to about a 1-minute portion of it. It's going to be about FOMO from what Tim has told me. So fear of missing out, which is a very big thing in the markets. When markets are going up, people are always afraid, like, I got to get in because I don't want to miss out. My friends are making money. My family's making money. Okay. So I'm excited to see what this says. So there's going to be a question here from the lady.
I should know. I earned some.
So finally, Jeremy, if we have begun this US equities crash, what hope can you give investors for the period ahead?
Stay out of trouble. Make sure you don't buy expensive markets, expensive stocks. Emphasize value, cheapness for what you get. Hunt around for the cheaper countries, hunt around for the cheaper stocks within those countries. Carry some cash reserves. There'll be perhaps some very nice buying opportunities. And whatever you do, get rid of this fear of missing out. This terrible lust to participate in profit making that comes along at the end of every one of the great bubbles. It is incredibly seductive, very hard to resist. Been there, done that myself a few decades ago, made a fortune and wiped myself out. Very salutary. And I would wish on most of you that you avoid it.
Jeremy Grantham, thank you.
So guys, this is why I consider myself a good investor. I literally have zero FOMO. In fact, I have the opposite. When I hear a lot of people making money on something, my first reaction is there's a mispricing there. They're overpaying. Call it stubborn, call it arrogant, call it whatever you want, call it, I absolutely believe that. It's so funny. I've actually gotten in arguments with people when they tell me, oh, this person and that person are doing so well. I go, they're probably not. I've literally said that in dinners before. People go, why do you have to be such a jerk? Because I just don't believe that the masses can do well. It's reserved for a small group of people who can work on themselves. And it's hard. So if you're new to this channel, you're probably like, well, I want to be a good investor. That's why you're watching this. Great. You absolutely can be. But just like me, it's going to take a while. I struggled with FOMO for a very, very long time. I still remember the first time I had major FOMO. I wanted to buy the Market Watch. They went public back in 1997, 1998, 1990, something like that. And they went 600% up the first day. And I was like, son of a bitch. I missed out. I was pissed. That was the first time. That was the first time. I never bought the stock, but I was like, but the point is, just because I didn't buy the stock didn't mean I didn't have FOMO. Now I see stocks going up 30, 40% a day. I go, that's cool. That's it. The FOMO I get now is when stocks go lower and lower and lower, and I think they could be, they're on the cusp of being a good buy, but they're not there yet. That's the only time I go, should I buy? Because what if it rebounds? That's the only time I go, and it's not even a FOMO. I just sit there and say, Paul, stick to your process. Disney is down 12% today. And I've always said I like Disney around $80, $85 a share. It's 88. It's close. Should I buy some? No, I just sold some puts on it. That way I can get paid for waiting. Because I do believe this market's going to go a lot lower. But FOMO is the hardest thing because you're around friends and family who all talk about all the gains they're getting, blah, 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 blah. That's why we created this community, by the way. It's exactly for that reason, because it is hard to be alone in a value investing journey. Grantham says, look at value. What would you do right now for people who are scared? Look at value. No, always look at value. It's not just when things are bad. When things are good, you still look at value. And that means you might have to sit down with a lot of cash. Now, I don't believe people should hold a lot of cash if you're saving for long-term retirement. Dollar cost average and a low-cost ETFs. But if you want to buy individual stocks, take a portion of your money, 10, 20, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever percentage that is, and be patient. Only make purchases when you feel very comfortable and be ready to buy at much lower prices. Because in all likelihood, you're not going to buy the bottom. In all my years of buying, I have bought the bottom one time. One time. In 20-some years, I absolutely got lucky and bought the bottom one time. That is it. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of purchases of some sort of transaction of investing. I bought the bottom one time. One time. One time. That's it. I want you to remember that. It's only happened once. I remember, and you know what I remember saying? I said, son of a bitch. Like, I was mad about it. I wanted the stock to go lower. I was actually pissed. And that's the mentality I want you to get around. That's why if you're watching this, I need you to subscribe if this makes sense to you, because it's all about learning on YouTube. I was alone 20 years ago when I started to realize I was a value investor, and it was hard, and I didn't become a value investor overnight. But I wish I'd had a community like this and a channel I could have watched, because back then I would have watched videos. And I would have said, okay, and I would have understood. Instead, it was on my own. And now I'm surrounded by tons of people who don't agree with it. Even my friends don't agree with me all the time. They make fun of from Mo and I. Oh, you guys don't get it. Mo said he just sold puts today or recently on Tesla at a price that would involve 80% drop. And our friends were making fun of him. That's how I know we're not there yet. That's how I know we're not there yet. When people still tell us we don't get Bitcoin, I know we're not there yet. But that's the fear of missing out, because there's no fundamentals that justify Tesla's price, Bitcoin's price, and even Apple. I don't think the fundamentals justify it, even though Warren Buffett is buying it. I don't see it for me, and I'm okay. Here's the key. Warren Buffett's buying Apple 130 to 140. I don't, because I don't get that price. That's where I want you to get, and that's where you can get. Everybody can be a good investor, but it's about working on your emotional side. Your mindset and the process are really important, but the emotional side is the absolute most important part. And you look at how calm he is, saying, just don't fall for it, guys. Don't chase. Don't chase hype. Go look at our videos. We have over 1,800, maybe 1,900 videos now on this channel. And literally the comments from people, you're an idiot, you don't get it. I remember when in February of 2021, I was saying how Cathie Wood's ARK was a terrible investment. And literally people wrote, gee, she has a hedge fund. By the way, she doesn't have a hedge fund, but she has a hedge fund and you have a YouTube channel. I wonder who's right. ARK was at 160 at that point. It's currently at 35 or so. Okay. Yeah, maybe she's right. She could end up being right. But you know, I don't think she's right. Her process. And that's what I want you to learn. I want you to learn the emotional side, the mindset, and the process. The process is the smallest part. I can teach you the numbers. You watch enough videos here, you'll get the numbers. But it's the emotional and mindset part that you need to keep ingraining. Guys, I have no FOMO. I still read books about having no FOMO because I want to keep repeating it in my head over and over and over again, because I don't want to get complacent. I keep reading the same books over and over. Education of a Value Investor, Psychology of Money, The Intelligent Investor. These are books I reread. I took notes on them, had my assistant write the notes up, put them on I reread those notes. Why? I want to ingrain in my head over and over the same things. That's how I got to be this way, where literally people will tell me, oh, this person made a killing on this. No, they probably didn't. And if they did, there's probably a reason why it's wrong. Because I look at things like that, and that might sound weird to you, but if it makes sense to you, you might have a value investor inside of you. And if it doesn't click immediately, that's okay. Warren Buffett says that a value investor just gets it immediately. I don't necessarily agree. I think that sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It does take time, because I used to be a FOMO, but I remember hearing things going, that makes sense, but I still thought it was different back then. And then I learned it was not. So trust me on this one. Stay along for this. It's a long journey. It's fun, but it never ends. I am 41 years old. I will be reading these books until I'm 100 and drop dead at my desk, buying some stock that's underpriced. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for your time. There are 3 things that you absolutely need in order to be a successful investor: the proper mindset, the proper emotion, and the proper process. Which ones are the most important?